That $7 Starbucks drink you're about to buy today is going to cost you 36 extra months of debt and destroy your credit score before you turn 30. I'm not exaggerating, let me show you the actual math. Pattern interrupt. Hey, welcome back to Cash Mind Daily. I'm going to walk you through something that banks don't want you to understand and credit card companies are counting on you missing. Let's start with the numbers everyone knows but nobody really processes. $7 per day times 365 days equals $2,555 per year. That's not some hypothetical, that's real money leaving your account. But here's where it gets brutal. That money isn't just gone. It's not just sitting in a Starbucks account somewhere. It's actively preventing you from building wealth. Pattern interrupt. Let me break this down the way your bank sees it. Let's say you're 23 years old. You've got $8,000 in credit card debt, which is actually the average for your age group right now. Your interest rate is around 19.5% because let's be real, that's where it sits for most people in their 20s. With just minimum payments, roughly $160 a month, it takes you 67 months to pay that off. That's 5.5 years of your life. During that entire time, your credit score stays underwater, it stays depressed. You're not building credit, you're fighting to keep your head above water. But if you take that $7 daily Starbucks habit, that $2,555 per year, and redirect it to your credit card, something changes. You go from 67 months to 31 months. That's 36 months, 3 entire years saved. Pattern interrupt. Now, here's the part that matters for your credit score specifically. Your credit score is built on 5 factors. Payment history is 35% of your score. Credit utilization is 30%. Length of credit history, mix of credit, and new inquiries make up the rest. When you're stuck in debt for 5 years instead of 5 years. Here's what happens. Your payment history gets extended. Every single month you're in debt, you have to prove you're paying. One missed payment tanks your score by 100 plus points. That's happening more often because you're in the system longer. Your credit utilization stays high. If you're carrying that $8,000 on a credit card, your utilization might be 80% of your limit. Every month that goes by, your score suffers because utilization is almost half your score. Your available credit doesn't rebuild. You're not free to access new credit. Lenders see someone stuck in debt, not someone building wealth. Pattern interrupt. So the $7 drink doesn't just cost you $2,555, it costs you 3 years of credit building, which in real terms means higher interest rates on future loans. When you finally buy a car or a house, you're paying an extra point or two on your interest rate. On a $300,000 mortgage, that's $60,000 plus over the life of the loan, depreciation of your financial potential. At 28, when your peers are getting approved for business loans or better credit lines, you're still fighting past debt. Psychological cost. There's a real cost to financial stress. Debt that should have been gone by 25 is still haunting you at 28. I want to pause here because I know what you're thinking. Pattern interrupt. I deserve my coffee. I work hard. I'm not cutting this out. I hear you, and I'm not here to tell you to suffer or live like a monk. That's not sustainable. That's actually why most money advice fails. But what I am saying is this: you're not choosing between coffee and deprivation. You're choosing between $7 coffee and 3 years of your financial life. That's the real trade. So let's talk about what actually works. Pattern interrupt. First, the replacement strategy. Make your coffee at home. I know it's not the same, but here's what changes the math. $1.20 French press, $0.50 per cup. That's $182.50 per year instead of $2,555. You just freed up $2,372 per year. That redirects to your credit card. Your payoff timeline drops from 67 months to 31 months. Your credit score starts recovering. By 28, you're not drowning, you're building. But here's the psychological part that matters. Occasionally, maybe twice a week instead of every day you buy the $7 drink. You're not depriving yourself. You're making a choice instead of following a habit. Second, the automation. This is where most people fail. They free up $2,372 and it disappears into Netflix, Uber, DoorDash, and 100 other $7 decisions. You need to automate the debt payoff. Set up an automatic transfer from your checking to pay your credit card the day after you get paid. You don't see the money. You don't have the option to spend it. Pattern interrupt. Third, track the timeline. Put a calendar on your wall. Circle the date you'll be debt-free if you keep the coffee habit. Then circle the date you'll be debt-free if you make the change. Seeing that 36-month gap visually, that changes behavior. Now let me address the bigger picture here. We're seeing this trend right now across the entire Gen Z and millennial demographic. Younger generations are stuck in longer debt cycles. Credit scores are staying depressed longer, and nobody's connecting the dots to daily spending habits. Banks love this. A depressed credit score means you pay higher rates forever. Depressed credit means you're not threatening their market share by getting approved for better products. Lenders profit from you staying stuck. Pattern interrupt. This is where the recession survival piece matters. We're in an environment where credit is tightening. If a recession hits, people with strong credit scores and no debt have options. People stuck in debt cycles, they're trapped. You don't build recession-proof finances by cutting out one thing. You build it by understanding opportunity cost. Every $7 decision is a choice about whether you want freedom or comfort right now. Here's the truth: you can't afford the coffee until you can afford to wait. And if you're in debt, you can't afford to wait. Pattern interrupt. So let me give you the action items. Today, calculate your exact payoff timeline if you keep your current spending. Use an online debt calculator. It takes 60 seconds. Tomorrow, calculate your payoff timeline if you cut just the daily coffee. Then decide, not based on willpower, based on numbers. If that gap is less than 12 months, maybe coffee isn't your problem, your income is. If that gap is 36 months like in our example, you know what to do. The beautiful part, this compounds in the other direction too. Every month you're debt-free instead of stuck, your credit score recovers. Every recovery point opens doors, lower interest rates, better credit products, approval for things that matter. By 28, instead of fighting debt, you could be investing. By 30, instead of paying interest, you could be building wealth. That's the